Hey everyone, in this video we're going to be graphing a parabola. The last few videos I made have been kind of picking out different points of a parabola and looking at those, and in this video we're going to take all those components, put them together to get a nice, accurate looking graph of a parabola. So I want to find a few points on the graph to make sure this thing looks good. So I'm going to find the x-intercepts. Now there may be more than one. Ooh, that should be a P, not an E. There could just be one, and there could be more than one for the x-intercepts. The y-intercept, and there's only going to be one y-intercept, and then the vertex. Now this is going to give me at least 3 points to put on my graph, and usually when I'm graphing anything, I like to have at least 3 points so I get a nice little picture there. Alright, so let's look at an example. Alright, so the example we're going to look at is going to be f of x equals x squared minus 8x plus 15. So the first thing we're going to do is find the x-intercepts. Now it doesn't really matter what order you do, that's just what I'm going to do first. So I set f of x here equal to 0, and I need to solve for x. And if you're not sure how to do this step, make sure you watch one of my other videos, how to find the x-intercepts of a parabola. So I can see that I can factor this right hand side to give me x minus 5 times x minus 3. Right? Negative 5 times negative 3 gives me a plus 15, and then negative 5 minus 3 gives me this minus 8. And from here, this gives me that x equals 5 and x equals 3. So these are my x-intercepts. Alright, now let's find the y-intercepts. Remember, the y-intercept's usually pretty easy, so I just need to find f of 0 equals 0 squared minus 8 times 0 plus 15. Well, that's dead. That's dead. All I'm left with is 15. So my y-intercept is 15. Okay. Now, if I find the vertex, I should be done. And I can look at this equation right here and notice that I have a plus 1 as my coefficient, so it should open upwards. So this means that this vertex is going to be a minimum value. And that's important when I'm graphing it, because if one of these x-intercepts is below that vertex, it doesn't really make sense for that to be the minimum value. That means I did something wrong. So let's find the vertex. Now that's a two-step process for the vertex. First I need to find the x component of the vertex, and that's going to be x equals negative b over 2a, which in this case is negative 8 all divided by 2 times 1, which is 8 over 2, which gives me 4. So that's the x component of my vertex. Now I need to find the y component of the vertex. Is going to be f of 4, which is 4 squared minus 8 times 4 plus 15, which is 16 minus 32 plus 15. Oops. Let's make that look a little bit better. So that's negative 16 plus 15 is minus 1. So the vertex is the point 4, comma, negative 1. Alright, so now I can put all of this stuff together on a little graph. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need to go down to negative 1. I need to go up to 15. So let's say this is 5. This is 10, and this is 15, so 5, 10, 15, just to make my graph a little bit easier. Now, I start graphing this one piece at a time. x-intercept at 5. So I have 5, 0 on my x-axis. X equals 3. So I've got my other x-intercept here. Now I'll change the colors. Y-intercept equals 15. So I go up to the point 15 on my y-axis, and that's my y-intercept. And last but not least, I have my vertex 4, -1 is down here. And this is good that it's underneath every point because this should be the minimum value, right? Now, I just connect all these points the best that I can. And I know my parabola is going to look something like this. Okay, and now this isn't a great drawing, right? It's hard to use this little pen I'm using, but I'm doing the best I can. So what we do is we go to our good friend Desmos. I've typed in the equation x squared minus 8x plus 15. I click this little button right here, and it pops up the graph for me, and it looks really good. Right? If I zoom in a little bit, I have my x vertex, or my x-intercept at 5, 0, 3, 0. I have my vertex at 4, -1, so everything matches up. Now, I scroll up a little bit, I see that my y-intercept is 0, 15. And, right, I mean, my graph's not perfect, but it illustrates that idea, and this is super detailed. This is exactly what you want to do if you're trying to graph something like this. Alright, well, that's all I've got for graphing a parabola. All these problems are going to follow the same kind of path. You need to find a few points, plot them on here on your graph, and then just connect them. Okay, so thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. Bye.